Hi, I'm Jalen Rose, and welcome to the Renaissance Man podcast, proudly presented by the New York Post, a show where we cover trends in fashion, entertainment, current events, and everything in between. My next guest is a SAG Award-winning actor and producer who's kicking off his career with heartthrob roles on Passion, Desperate Housewives, and the 2006 hit comedy, John Tucker Must Die. In recent years, he starred in a number of TV shows and movies for the Hallmark Network, like Chesapeake Shores, Harmony from the Heart, and Martha's Vineyard's Mysteries. Also, there's more. He's set to appear in the upcoming true life survival film On a Wing and a Prayer, which premieres. And make sure y'all check this out on Amazon Prime, April 7th. It is my honor to welcome the incredible, rocking a cardigan sweater, Jesse Metcalfe, to the Renaissance Man podcast. What up, my brother?
How are you, man? It's great to be here.
Good. I appreciate the love and thank you for taking the time. You've been killing them in the game. I'm a huge fan of yours, and I wanted to make sure I had you on the show, so thank you for taking the time.
Of course. It's great to be here.
So I did some research on you, been all in your business, and I realized that you were born in Carmel Valley, California, and raised in Waterford, Connecticut. So please give me a snapshot of what your childhood was like.
Wow. Haven't had a question like that in a while. You know, I had a pretty idyllic childhood. Connecticut's a great place to grow up. You know, I was a public school kid, played sports growing up, went to New York University, was in the Tisch School of the Arts for film and television. That's where I developed a passion for acting. Came to LA, and basically the rest is history.
So there's multiple follow-up questions, if you don't mind. What sports did you play?
Mostly basketball and baseball.
So tell me about your favorite moment playing both sports.
My favorite moment playing baseball was probably Little League. When we won the championship, and I actually hit one out in that championship game. That's one of my biggest moments of my life. I'm just kidding.
No question. It's one of the hardest things to do in life is to hit a live baseball.
Tell me about it. Seriously. It was a lot easier back then when the pitches were coming in, you know, in the mid 70s tops.
So who were some of your favorite baseball players? Who were some of your favorite basketball players, and why?
Okay, well, my favorite baseball player growing up was Donnie Baseball, Don Mattingly.
Legend.
I was a big Yankees fan growing up, and you know, as a lot of people know, if you live in Connecticut, between Massachusetts and New York, there's a huge Red Sox-Yankees rivalry going on in that state. So I had a lot of fun with that, you know, with my friends growing up.
No doubt. And Donnie Baseball is definitely a legend. No doubt about it. So when you hit your home run, did you have a trot? Did you have a theme song?
You know what, man? At that moment, I was out of body. I wasn't thinking about a theme song. I was like, you know, I was in another world.
So what were the TV shows and movies that influenced you and your passion for the arts at a young age?
All right. Wow, another great question, man. The television series that I could not miss growing up was The Wonder Years. I don't know why that show resonated with me so much, but I absolutely love that show. I was a huge TV watcher growing up. So, I mean, I watched everything under the sun. I mean, the first another show that really influenced me from a comedic perspective was Three's Company. I
Mm.
wasn't allowed to watch the show. I had to sneak watching the show because my mom thought that the show was sexist, and I was a little too adult for me at the time. But yeah, I mean, I watched everything, man. And then the first movie that I saw that I think made me conscious of, film as an art form as opposed to just entertainment, was The Breakfast Club.
Mm.
That movie really resonated with me as a kid. I saw it in the theaters. My dad took me to see that movie, and I think that, yeah, that's what sparked my interest and made me think about wanting to be a part of the entertainment industry.
So Three's Company has one of my favorite theme songs of all time. And as a TV watcher, because I heard you talk about the fact that you watch multiple shows, do you miss that? Because I do.
Oh, I do. Are you kidding me? And I know them all too. I thought we were going to go into like a trivia game right now about theme songs, and I was going
That's where I was going. Can you tell me? Because I had the Jeffersons, I had Sanford and Son, I had Good Times. Can you
to.
tell me some of your favorite theme songs for
Honestly,
TV shows?
you just hit two of them. You know, you just hit two of them. Those are I mean, Sanford and Son and the Jeffersons are two of the most iconic theme songs of all time. I don't really know if I can top those, honestly.
Those were
Matter of fact, I
classic.
was just at a new friend's place, and he's dating a girl. She brings over her dog, and the dog's name was Wheezy.
Classic.
And I go, "Did you name your song after the Jeffersons?" And they didn't even know what the Jeffersons was. And I was like,
Really?
"I'm getting old."
Wow. Wow. So you were 26 years old when you landed your breakout role in Desperate Housewives, and congratulations, because you crushed it, killed it. It's become an iconic role. And you spoken publicly about how challenging it was to balance overnight fame along with your body image. And as an athlete, I can relate to that because people always talk about our height, our weight, what we're wearing, those type of things. So what are some of the lessons you learned from that time in your life?
Wow. Yeah, there is a bit of a correlation between, I think, actors and athletes as we get older. I think we just need to learn to not be so hard on ourselves, because as we get older, we tend, to gain a couple pounds. And I think that's okay. The focus needs to be on living a healthy lifestyle. You know, for athletes, you guys got to stay in peak physical condition for performance reasons, and as an actor, especially an actor that played a lot of topless roles, I had to stay in peak physical condition for aesthetic reasons. So I think, I don't know about you, but as I've gotten older and started getting older roles, it's a little bit of a relief not to have to be in that kind of shape 24/7.
Absolutely. So if you needed to acknowledge, and you've had so many great ones, what has been your favorite role and why?
My favorite role is still to this day John Tucker Must Die, because I feel like that film was squarely on my shoulders, although we had a great ensemble cast. And although the film was completely critically panned at the time, it's gone on to become a teen comedy cult classic and has really stood the time over the last couple of generations and passed down from older siblings to younger siblings. And I think it still stands up to this day.
And just so you know, John Tucker Must Die has been called a guilty pleasure by a lot of fans. That movie, literally. So I would like to ask you, as a TV watcher, as an actor, as a producer, as somebody that's really accomplished in the industry, because I've been accused of basically watching 10 or 15 movies 150 times each. Can you name your personal top 5 guilty pleasure movies?
Wow. I don't know if I can name 5 of them, but
Okay.
I do have a lot of movies that I go back to that bring me comfort. You know, like if you're sick, if you got COVID, you know, and you got to hang in the
Right.
house for 5 days,
Right.
what are you gonna put on? You know, and I'd say The Breakfast Club for me is one of them. The original Top Gun is one of
Classic.
them. I used to be obsessed with this movie when I was a kid, this called Real Genius, which is like an old 80s movies. I really love 80s comedies. I thought they were incredibly well written. I liked how irreverent they were. And I thought the actors of that time period were incredibly talented. You know, if you look at a teen, you know, I was obsessed with John Hughes movies, basically. So, you know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off,
Mm-hmm.
Breakfast Club, 16 Candles, Pretty in Pink, all
Mm.
those movies really had a profound effect on me.
So I want to drill down on that a little bit more, because that means you are also a student of your craft. And there's so many times people want to be athletes or entertainers or actors, but they're not a student of their craft. So can you unpack for them when you say 80s comedies were very profound in your development, like some of the actors and some of the skits that you remember that inspired you?
Well, I mean, Anthony Michael Hall, Judd Nelson, I mean, Rob Lowe, you know, Emilio Estevez. They were called the Brat Pack, or some of these people were members of the
Classic.
back
That's a
then.
classic.
And these actors were like, they were legit, man. I mean, they
No
were
doubt.
really good actors. That's why they ultimately went on to have the careers that they have. And I think, you know, there's flashes in the pan, and then there's people that stand the test of time. And you know, when it's all said and done, you know, I want to be one of those actors that's remembered.
And you're doing that. And by the way, your new movie, and congratulations, On a Wing and a Prayer, is based on a true family story, because they needed to land a plane after their pilot tragically died in flight. You played a pilot on the ground who patiently talked them through this harrowing experience. So talk to me about what made you want to be a part of this movie and how this affects your travel going forward.
Yeah, no, I mean, I wanted to be a part of this because it was a great script. The icing on the cake was that it was a true story. And ironically, I would be playing a character that was from Danbury, Connecticut, you know, my home state. I didn't know about this harrowing story before taking on this role, but I did a lot of research about this real life character, Carrie Sorensen, who was an expert in this particular plane and was able to talk down Dennis Quaid's character, Doug White, and to landing this plane and saving himself and his family. So, you know, I mean, I just thought that, you know, the character of Carrie Sorensen had an amazing arc. He lost both his father and his stepfather to plane crashes. And instead of, you know,
Wow.
dealing with a lot of that survivor's guilt, he just kind of packed it down, and it was, you know, it was coming out in other ways in his life. Particularly, he was taking out, you know, a lot of those unresolved feelings on his significant other, you know, in his relationship. And, you know, through helping save Doug White and his family, he experienced a certain level of, you know, healing. You know, it was a cathartic experience for him. And I just thought that that character arc was something that, you know, I could really sink my teeth into acting wise.
So, as somebody that's done a couple of acting appearances, can you talk to the level of sacrifice and discipline that comes with accepting a role, getting into character, memorizing a script? Because so many people want to be actors and they get a chance to see you perform, but they don't see the work and the time and sacrifice and energy that goes into it. So, for example, can you please break down for me when you receive a role, get into character, and how you eventually memorize your lines?
Well, every actor has a different process. Um, and for me, I really break down my script. You know, people that look at my scripts are like, why is every bit of space between your lines and the margins completely filled with notes and writing? That's because, you know, I layer in a subtext to everything that my character does and everything that my character says. And then when it's time to perform, I forget about all that, you know, so that subtext that I created is in my subconscious. So that's the way I go about getting into a character like Kerry Sorensen, because I haven't lived his life. I haven't experienced what he's experienced. I don't have the knowledge that he has. So that's how I bring emotional resonance and stakes to my performance.
And for now being a successful actor, very accomplished, how do you balance your personal life and social media and corporate America? What has it been like for you to navigate each of those elements? Because we know that comes with being somebody that works in multimedia and entertainment.
I navigate it very carefully. The thing about social media is that it's an amazing tool, but it can also be detrimental, you know, not just by saying or posting the wrong thing, but by spending too much time on it. You know, it can really be an addiction, and keep you from putting the energy you need to put into the more important things in your life. But, you know, I try to use it as a tool to promote my projects, to promote aspects of myself that I want people to pay attention to. But at the end of the day, you know, social media is not real life. You need to remember that.
Correct. And just because that's a person's picture, that don't mean it's that person. That same person can have multiple accounts. And also some of the people that are posting can be your competitors and or your critics in
That's
a lot
dark.
of ways. Right? Right?
There can be that level of subterfuge, I suspect, you know. And now with you know, AI, you don't even know you know, if you're watching a video, if that's real. So, you know, you have
Absolutely.
to be very skeptical about what you see on social media.
Absolutely. And I would like to also ask you, for somebody that hopes to be in the industry and follow in your footsteps and now navigate the expectations of just trying to be a multimedia personality, to be an actor, can you talk about some of the sacrifices that you've made in order to make your career happen?
Well, you know, as an actor, I think initially you really need to focus on building the foundation of your craft, of what you do. You know, first and foremost, I mean, if you want to be in the celebrity business, there's a lot more pitfalls that you have to watch out for. But if you want to be an actor, then I think you should just eat, sleep, and breathe acting and become the best actor that you can possibly be. And like Eddie Murphy once said in an interview, keep your mouth shut.
Absolutely. There's a reason why we have 2 ears and 1 mouth. So you can do 2 times more listening than you do speaking. And before I let you get out of here, Jesse Metcalfe, I appreciate you taking the time. I know you're a very busy person and a lot going on. Make sure y'all check out his new movie, On a Wing and a Prayer. I have a rapid fire segment called Gone in 60 Seconds. You ready to do this?
Ready.
I've seen you with your shirt off. I've seen you do multiple scenes. Name an actor or an actress you would love to work with at some point in your career.
Did they have to have their clothes off too, or?
That would be awesome if it was you.
Oh, wow, man. An actor or an actress that I would love to work with. How about Jennifer Lawrence?
That's a great one. Absolutely. We're going to make that happen. Hey, Jennifer, we need to make that happen. We need to make that happen. And I need my guy to have his shirt off in the scene. That's all I'll say. I see you on Instagram. Your suit game is on point. What is the flyest outfit you've recently worn?
I don't know. The one I got on right now. It's a Tom Ford sweater.
I love that. Stay fly all of the time. Stay ready so you ain't got to get ready. Many of your fans know you were on season 29 with your twinkle toes doing Dancing with the Stars. Which dance style do you wish you could have done?
Probably the Roomba, but I didn't make it that far. I got kicked off too early. No, I was actually on a bad hip. And after I finished Dancing with the Stars, season 29, I had a hip replacement.
Oh, wow.
Now, if I had my new hip, I could have won.
That's what's up. And that's incredible that you were participating knowing that you needed to do something with your hip. That is crazy. And lastly, but certainly not least, and I appreciate you taking the time, what do you hope audiences take away from your new movie?
You know, I love this movie because it bridges the gap between faith-based content and mainstream content. Yes, there is a faith element to this movie, but it's really a message of survival, redemption, and having faith, you know, in the people around you, you know, because it's the people around us that love us, that hold us up in difficult times.
On a Wing and a Prayer premieres Amazon Prime Video April 7th. Make sure y'all check this out. This is Jesse Metcalfe. I appreciate you taking the time. Thanks a lot.
Thanks so much, Jalen, man. Appreciate it.
Yes, indeed. Thanks for the love.